start?
Yeah. I can tell you that the Secretary General condemns the killing of the 6 Palestinian journalists in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza City on August 10th. These latest killings highlight the extreme risks that journalists continue to face when covering this ongoing conflict. The Secretary General calls for an independent and impartial investigation into these latest killings. At least 242 journalists have been killed in Gaza since the war began. Journalists and media workers must be respected, they must be protected, and they must be allowed to carry out their work freely, free from fear and free from harassment. Accountability tragically takes time, especially in conflict, but accountability needs to happen. We've seen it in other recent conflicts where it sometimes takes a long time to find accountability. How such an investigation will take place in the middle of a conflict is difficult to say, but there are various options, but there will need to be accountability for what happened. Yes, the steel pan is a useful instrument. I think we leave it to you and other journalists to comment and analyze what the Security Council has been doing, what the General Assembly has been doing, what the Human Rights Council has been doing, and what the Secretary General has been doing. I think the Secretary General has been very much engaged. The whole UN Secretariat system and the funds and programs and agencies and our colleagues who remain on the ground, our Palestinian colleagues who remain on the ground, our international colleagues who remain on the ground, have been dedicated to trying to help the people of Gaza.
Going back to the same question about investigating the killing of the journalist, you don't investigate when the killer admits his crime. Israel issued a statement saying, we killed him, targeting him, and they accused him of silly, of course, accusation that he's a member of Hamas. So where the investigation comes in, if the killer of the...
Well, I think there needs to be, for every act of violence, there also needs to be individual accountability.
Does the Secretary General acknowledge that journalists are protected under the Geneva Convention and that killing them is a war crime?
The Geneva Conventions are clear. They should always be respected. So
some commander within the Israeli military gave the orders to murder these journalists. The Secretary General feels that this investigation should identify any perpetrators.
There needs to be personal accountability for what's happened in this conflict, as to what's happening in other conflicts that we're seeing around the world. That will be a decision of the Security Council. We strongly feel that journalists provide an essential service to the world, to policymakers, in order to chronicle what is happening in this conflict and any other conflict. And what we're seeing here in this conflict is a lack of access to journalists, right? Because the Israelis say something, Hamas says something, we say something, and the only way for people to actually know what is going on the ground is for journalists to be able to do their work freely.
My question is, why not for the Secretary General to take the initiative and call maybe 100 journalists or 50 journalists to go in with him and go to Gaza, demand that they go to Gaza, including you, including the people in this room, maybe others who want to join in, and so on, to actually see what is going on the ground?
Secretary General has not been able himself to go to Gaza.
Why not?
He's not been granted the permission. Okay. The closest we got was Rafah.